Okay, so let's dig a little bit deeper into what you can do with Premiere. This should be something that you could figure out, but you can also keyframe. Let me expand this a little more. Some of the title stuff. So you have the motion, position, scale of the individual pieces of your title intro as well. So if you wanted to, you could keyframe something like the opacity. Let me expand opacity here. Go to the very beginning. This is the way to do it. And keyframe opacity. Oops. Keyframe opacity. So if I bring that down to 0, you'll see that it's not visible. I can go forward. I don't want to go all the way to the end because you need it to be on the screen long enough for people to read it. So I can keyframe the opacity and bring that up to 100%. And now I've got my title fading in. You can also do that with your name right down here. Let me this time keyframe the scale. So if I'm at the very beginning and, well, actually, I'm going to go to where I want this to be. In fact, I'll time it perfectly with this one. So using that keyframe jumper on my favorite things, I'm at the exact point where it's fully visible. I'm going to go down to my name. I'm still on that exact point, and I'm going to keyframe my scale. So it's going to be 100 at this point. When I go to the beginning, I can scale that down to 0. So now I have two things animated here. One scales up and the other one dissolves in. There are automatic transitions that will do that for you, but you can keyframe the position, have it come from off screen to on screen. Just don't do rotation. That's just a little bit too much for a video like this. We already have a lot going on the screen. The other thing I wanted to play with here is, let me pick a different title, something with a little color to it. So let me show you some effects. Changing over to effects. I can show you, let me start with levels actually. So finding a picture that would benefit from some leveling. This picture is actually pretty professional looking. This one looks all right. I'm looking for one that's got a lot of gray in it, something just taken by your average person and not a professional. Somebody took a picture of their plate of food. So this is a very important tool called levels. And if you just search in effects, you can easily find levels. I'm going to drag and drop it on this picture of the spaghetti. And you can see over here in the effect controls, I'll collapse some of these others. And I've just got the levels here. And all these numbers, we don't need to worry about it. So I'm actually going to collapse levels as well. This is the key right here, the setup. And what it does is it makes a bar graph, not a very detailed one, where these are the black pixels up through the grays and then up to perfect white. And you can see that there is a good bit of white here. That's the plate. And there's also some darker pixels. So here's what you do to make this better. You bring the black point in a little bit and bring the white point in a little bit, and your picture's going to look better. Now let me go to the extreme to show you what's happening. So if I say make the pixels that are close to white perfect white, and you go too far, like your picture just turns almost all white. So we're going to find a point in there where it looks good. Same thing with the black point. The only thing left is going to be the plate, basically, that's definitely white. So what I generally do is I bring this in a little bit, I bring this in a little bit, and then I wiggle the middle one without looking at the numbers and just find where it looks good. I'm going to click OK, and then I turn the effect on and off. So this is like the eyeball. So that's before and that's after. Before and after. I'm going to bring the black point in a little bit more. So you'll often get an improvement in the amount of color that's there. So this one had kind of a gray overtone, had a slight improvement. Wasn't too dramatic on this one. Let me check some of my other pictures. This one could probably use that too. So I'm just going to drag levels, drop it on there, collapse, and check my histogram. Bring this in a little bit, bring this in a little bit. Maybe wiggle this. Let's see what that did. So really intensified the colors, gave it an overall pretty dark tone there, so I might bring that back a little bit and then turn it on and off. Sometimes you don't see an improvement, and you can just delete that effect right there and say, nope, that didn't help much. But I have seen a lot of student pictures where this would really be improved. Let me do one more here. Levels on the pizza. And bring the black point in. Oh, why is this still? Because I didn't switch to the pizza. So let me do that again. Levels on the pizza. Now this is more of a histogram, okay, so you can really see. You normally bring it in to the point where it starts to go up. So the white point definitely should go there. And let's see if that improved the pizza. So to me, that's a pretty big improvement right there. So it really intensifies things. Animals, that one's professionally done. This one's pretty nice. This one somebody took. Drop the levels. Make the blacks a little blacker, the whites a little whiter. Don't overdo this, but see if your picture can be improved a little bit. So that's something I generally do to just about every picture that's not obviously professionally done. This one does not need to be leveled. This one, probably not. These are really, really nice ones. Alright, so I know that's a long video, but I'll do a part 2 here with some really cool stuff if you'll watch next.